Hi all of you. Today I am starting a new series of RHCSA, which is your Reddit System Administrator. As you all can see, Reddit Certified System Admin. So by doing this course you can crack this exam, crack this certification. As you all know, this is the certification of Linux, of System Admin, and these all are topics will be covered in this course. As you all can see, now let me show you what is the file system of Linux. Who all are new to this channel, who all are new to this Linux. So what is Linux? Let me show you. So this is the top level root directory. Let me open my pen. Okay, this is your top level root directory. As you all can see, this is your top level root directory, which contains all OS files. As we see in this C contains all OS files. As you all can see, program files into 86 and all of that. Okay, so this also contains your OS files. Now first file is bin. So later I will talk about these files. First let me talk about in Linux. You say, like we say, this is folder, but in Linux operating system we say directory instead of folder. Let me show you with the pen. So in Linux we say directory, not folder, and Linux is your command line based, not GUI. Windows is your GUI. GUI means graphical user interface. This is your graphical user interface, but when we open CMD, so this is your command line base. So to see something you have to write a command, like what is in this folder, in this current folder you have to write a command. After running command you can see I have videos, I have searches saved in. These are all folders. Okay, it is saying dir means directory means folder. So this is your command line base, this is your CLI. So I think you got the difference between GUI and CLI. So Linux is also your CLI, command line interface. Now let me talk about bin. Now it's time to talk about bin. Now first one is your bin, this. So this is your file placed in this user folder. There is also a bin. They both are same, as this arrow is pointing towards this. So they both are same. This is the shortcut of bin, which is placed here. Let me explain you that there is on Microsoft Teams. If I open its file location, as you all can see, it is placed here in C user, this folder app data roaming Microsoft. This here you can see Microsoft is placed, but the shortcut of Microsoft Teams is here. So this is the main reason behind the shortcut. So this is also a shortcut. The main file is in user directory, because in Linux we say directory, not folder. So this is also directory. The main file of bin, the main directory of bin is placed here, and this is shortcut. So bin contains normal user commands. So as I already told you, Linux is all about commands. So there is two users, there are two users. First is your normal user, regular user, and second one is your admin user, root user, which can admin and root user is both same, and they both can do anything on a machine, on Linux, on operating system. They can do anything because they have all permissions, but a regular user don't have that much permissions when compared to root user. So normal user have different commands and admin user have different commands, so they store in bin. And you also can see sbin. So sbin is placed here. So this contains your all the root user commands, all admin user commands. I think now this much are completed. stuff. Now it's time to move ahead. So let me clear all this stuff. Now what is boot? Here you can see boot. Let me change it to red. Now you can see here boot. Okay, so there is your boot. Boot is your when you run your machine, when you start your machine, your boot is, so it contains your booting time. Booting time means when you open your, when you start your PC until it gets started. So the time between, the time is known as booting time. So in Linux it is also same. When you start your Linux machine, your Linux OS, so when it gets fully started and is known as booting time. I hope you all now are understand what is booting time. I will cover it later, because in later videos I'll cover everything, each and every directory one by one. So now I'm just giving a preview of the all of this stuff, all of these OS files. So now these are some main files, except these files, these directories, there are some more directories. These are not files, these are directories. So there are some more directories, but I am covering now only the useful, only the main directories. So there is your var variable data, which contains, there is now you here you can see that there is your, where is your var. So the var directory is not placed here, but let me tell you, var contains variable data, cache data and logs. And here is your user lib, so there is not your lib. So it supports all platform, which means user, there are some lib files, as you all can see here. Also there are some lib files, I think in program files. Let me see, there are some library files which are inbuilt in your OS. I think it is in here, library files. I think it is in your Windows. Let me make it big. Now here you can see that there are also logs. So as it contains log, so same as in Linux, it also contains log. Let me see where it is now. Lib is, I think, in your user. I can't find the directory, but I can't find the folder, not directory, because it is your window. System Steam, no, this is your Steam library. This is your another stuff. In, I think, program data, it contains library files, but your OS files contains your library files by default. When you install Windows, it contains your library files, but I can't find here. So let me go back, and it user library file, it contains, it supports your all platform, which means 32-bit, 64-bit and all the platforms. But in user lib 64, it only supports your 64-bit. Alright, now it's time to talk about root. So this is your root, there is your root, as you all can see, admin user directory. So this is the root directory of admin user. It contains all the stuff of admin user, which means root user. Now it's time to talk about dev, which is your here. So dev contains block devices or files. Dev means all the hard disk and all the pen drives, all the external stuff, SSD and all that stuff, storage stuff, that is shown in your dev directory. Like you see in your this PC, it is showing your SSD. So this is your SSD. If I attach a pen drive or a hard disk, portable hard disk, it will show here only. So similar in your Linux, it shows in your dev directory. Okay, alright. Now it's time to talk about etc. So this is your etc. It contains all your configuration files of Linux. It contains all the configuration files. and in run directory, runtime data, PID and logs. It also contains logs and PID. So what is PID? PID is your process ID. Let me show you process ID in Windows. When you open task manager, when you open the services, not services, I think process services. So now here you can see that there is your PID. PID means process ID, which is your this. So there is your process ID. As you can see here, these are your process ID. Every task has, every service has unique ID. Similar in Linux, it contains all your process ID as well. Now let's move ahead. Let me first do something. So this is your var temp. Var temp is your, so var temp, as you all can see, this is your var temp. In var directory there is a temp directory as well. Okay, so why I have written here 10 days, because when you delete something, you can access, there is a window for only for 10 days. You can access that data, deleted data, for 10 days. After 10 days it will delete it permanently in var temp. No, it is for 30 days. It is for 30 days in var temp. Let me put arrow to this. And in temp directory, which is here placed here, these are not same, these are different directories. I think you all are now understand what these directories contains. Let me clear all this stuff. Now it's time to talk about the home user. As you all can see, home username. So these are home username. So these are username Alice, Bob, Eve. So these are your regular user, which are by default in Linux. So you can access them in home directory. So there I'll show you in later videos what all are regular users. Alright, I think this is enough for today, and in the next video, in the later videos, I'll show you all stuff related to your Linux, how to create account. I'll show you in later videos. Alright, so in the later videos, I'll show you how to create free account on AWS, and you can practice on Red Hat machine how you can create files and folders in Linux, how to give permissions. All of those stuff I'll teach you in the later videos, so you can subscribe to my channel. And in the next video I'll show you how to create account on AWS. Now I think it's time to end the video. Bye for now.